Welcome back to another E3 installment of It Came From the Collection. This week, we're going to look at the most important part about going to E3, pens and notebooks. Obviously, you can't take notes on everything that you see at E3 without some pens and notebooks. This one is by far the coolest and most painful to use. This is a metal PlayStation 2 notebook. This cover is metal of some kind. The back cover is metal. The corners are rounded, but it's just not going to focus on any of this, is it? It is losing its mind. It's engraved, though. It's embossed. Come on. You can do it. The corners are rounded, but it's still pokey. And then the plastic coating on the rings is just, over the years, actually trying to use this thing at E3. It's kind of a nightmare. You can see some of my notes in here. This was our schedule. I did not have that many appointments. Let me flip ahead and see if there's there's some Tony Hawk codes that are written in here. Let me pull this back and see. I know there's some people's phone numbers and stuff I don't necessarily need to show. There's some notes on write-up. I remember at one point coming back, I was driving back from Indiana back to Cincinnati, and I had an idea. I was wording out a preview in my head, and I had to pull over and in this notebook write down a rough draft of my preview for a game, and then get home and translate it into digital form and get it online as soon as possible. Those were the days. The following year, the PlayStation Notebook was not as exciting. This is just like a flimsy, floppy plastic thing with a little button and a little notepad inside. You can see some notes I took from their press conference. And it's just like a standard pad of paper and this little plastic loop thing here. Stop going out of focus. This is freaking it out. In this little plastic thing here. And again, it's got some phone numbers and stuff. It's got some pretty embarrassing notes that I took from the press conference. SOCOM looks almost like a cheap PC game. Headset for voice commands. Great. And then finally on the notepad front, this one's very special. As you can do all kinds of things to Darth Maul's face if you want to. It looks like from the little plastic left up here, I've used that a few times over the years. But you can't take notes if you don't have things to write with. So let's move on to the pens. I'm going to try and look at the camera, at my screen here, and make sure this stuff's in focus. This is the official E3 pen. I remember having so many pens from E3, and we needed some more content, and so I did a feature for Game Fusion on the pens of E3. And I think I've trotted them out in several videos and several websites since. This was probably the next year's, that was the E3 pen. This is the PlayStation pen. I think, don't lose it. I think this is the one that came with this notebook. I think it was that one. Anyways, this one's got, let me get it over here so I can see a little better. Black. It's got a stylus for your PDA. Stylus. You can use this with a DS. Red. Pencil. Black. So you kind of have to lean. Come on. You kind of have to lean this top thing like the direction that you want. And it was always a pain to get the tip that you wanted. And since it has a pencil, it's also got a tiny, tiny eraser and the opening for lead, of which there is none inside. So I think when the DS first came out, I tried to use this for a little bit. I thought it would be incredibly useful. It was not. Up next, there's a pair. Well, one of them's broken. Xicat Interactive. They were putting out a couple games. They had a roller coaster creator simulator for the Dreamcast that was kind of cool. Not much else, though, but they had pens, so there's just a regular old clicky pen. That's not even from E3. Crave Entertainment. You can see this one is... Come on and focus. The blurriest 4K video you can find on YouTube. Crave Entertainment. You can see I've used this one a lot because it's worn off right where I would hold it at. And it's just a little turn the top for the tip pen. And finally, the most elaborate one, or at least the biggest one, is this one from Infogrames. It looks like this tip up here, like the top, would probably be for like a multi-color pen, but they just have one in there. And it's really awkward to press down, and I don't remember how you... Okay, it's just a click pen. It's a good click. It's a good click and write. So that's some pens. Let's see. That one was always hard to get angled just right. The pens of E3, it's back. I think I did this video a couple years ago on my old channel. Ah, beautiful, pens. Pens and notepads of E3. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more E3 stuff, if not next week, in the very next episode. Further down the line, I have plenty more stuff to dig out, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.